So I just saw. So I just saw Captain Marvel. Not really, I actually saw it the Thursday that it came out, but for some reason, I guess that's just the way I start my videos, and I'm sticking with it now. I'm too far deep. Anyways, I'm gonna keep out any of the controversial stuff that Brie Larson said and blah blah blah, all of that, because I don't really need to get into that because it shouldn't really affect the movie, and it doesn't. So here's just the review. So I had no real expectations going into the movie because literally this movie is just a setup for Endgame. That is all it is. It's literally just to be like, hey, for everyone who doesn't know who Captain Marvel is, here she is. This is who she is. And that's what the movie was. I thought it started off really bad. Not just because there's a few things. First of all, I'm getting real sick and tired of this amnesia stuff going on. It happened with Alita, and then it happened with this movie. It happens with Detective Pikachu. Just like, alright, I understand it makes it easier to write a character that way, but stop it. It's kind of annoying. And it goes right into some weird ass shit, and I'm kind of interested. I haven't looked it up, and I probably should have at some point, but I'm interested to see how non-comic book readers take the first half, because they jump right into the Supreme Intelligence, and they never really explain who the Supreme Intelligence is or like what it is. They kind of just be like, here's the Supreme Intelligence, it's the leader of the Kree, and it's AI, and shows up as what you want it to show up as. And that's kind of all it is. And they don't really explain it other than that. And I feel like they don't really explain a whole lot in terms of Kree and Skrull. I feel like if you don't know who the Skrull is, the kind of first little bit where the guy sneaks up on the girl who's sniping, and then all of a sudden they start fighting, and then the guy dies, and it turns out he turns into a Skrull. I feel like people will be confused. I don't know, maybe not, but I feel like as a comic book reader, I understood it perfectly fine because I know what that stuff is, but I feel like as a non-comic book reader, maybe people will be confused. So I thought the start was not great. Once she got to Earth, it got a little bit better in my opinion, but overall, like, the story was just okay. It didn't need to be anything special. I'll get into the twist kind of spoilery stuff later, but yeah, it didn't need to be anything special and just ended up being okay. I want to talk about Brie Larson. I didn't like her as Captain Marvel. I don't know if it was just her acting, her script, or a bit of both. But I don't know, like, I felt like her delivery on most of her lines, like, she was just very monotone, and her character also kind of confused me because she was with the Kree for 6 years because she woke up there and she didn't remember who she was. But then she comes back to Earth. She doesn't remember, like, Earth. But then she talks with Nick Fury about Earth things, and she completely understands everything. It's like she understands it fully, so it's a little confusing just because of the fact that it feels like the movie wants her to be like the fish out of water, kind of like Thor 1, but also like the quippy knows stuff about Earth at the same time, and it's kind of confusing on some parts. Like, I don't know if she was supposed to be completely unaware of Earth completely, because she, at some points she was, and then at other points she knew exactly what Earth is, so it was kind of confusing. I felt the comedy in this movie actually just wasn't really that good at all. Even there was some stuff with Nick Fury that was okay, but I honestly didn't even like Nick Fury that much. I don't know if it's because, like, this is not the Nick Fury of the Avengers movies, and I thought that was weird because I understand he's supposed to be a new guy, and he's just kind of, well, not the new guy. He's not supposed to be the Nick Fury that we know, and he's supposed to kind of mold into that, but I feel like he's already been through a war. He's already kind of moved up the ranks a little bit with S.H.I.E.L.D., so I feel like he shouldn't be, not really naive, but he's just strange. So he was a bit weird. I don't know if I really liked him a whole lot. I thought, like, Samuel L. Jackson was fine, and the de-aging was seamless. So I don't put it on Samuel L. Jackson. I didn't think the writing in this movie at all was great. And I also felt like Nick Fury's character relies a good amount on mystery, and there's just no mystery behind him now. Ben Mendelsohn was good. I liked him. he was probably the better part of the movie. The thing is for most of Marvel, they've had really good heroes, and the heroes were like the best part of the movies, and the villains kind of sucked, but it was like, hey, that's all right, because the hero's really good, and the hero is on screen more, so it's all right. They would, I'd like to have a better villain, but whatever. But with this movie, the hero kind of sucks, poorly written, not really that well acted, but the villain's pretty good, and the villain's kind of cool, so he was good. I guess I'm gonna head into spoilers here. If you don't want spoilers, basically the movie's okay. If you're going to see Endgame and you don't really know a whole lot about the comics, I would see it, because you're going to need to if you want to understand Captain Marvel and what she is. But if you know who Captain Marvel is, honestly, it's up to you. It's fine. Like I said, if you like Marvel movies, you'll probably at least enjoy it a bit. But yeah. Anyways, here into spoilers. The big twist that the Skrull are actually not the bad guys, and they're like, hey, you know what? We just want to find a planet and get away from the Kree. I thought it was weird, but it was okay. I haven't read a ton of comics, so I'm not super familiar with the Kree and the Skrull. I read a decent amount to know a bit about them, but I don't know like a ton. I've never read a comic book focusing on them. So, like, I know the Kree aren't supposed to be the good guys. They're better than the Skrulls, but they're not really supposed to be the good guys, and they kind of already shown that with in Guardians of the Galaxy, that the Kree aren't really that great. But I just kind of found it, I did find it a little bit strange that they completely just put the Skrulls as the good guys in this story. I thought they were going to put another twist at the end and be like, you know what, the Skrulls aren't that good either. No one's good in this scenario. Everyone sucks. And I would have liked that, but they didn't, so I'm interested to see if maybe they'll do something with that in the future. But the thing is I don't know if they will, or if they will, it's going to be pretty far in the future, because they're going to want to set up a few new characters, and they're not going to want to have another big event right after Endgame. I feel like if they're going to do something with the Skrull again, they should probably have it be a big event, like something like Secret Invasion or something like that. I think that would be really cool. Except for, I feel like they would have to wait a while to do it, and if they wait a while, then they're probably going to have to re-explain the Skrull, and it's going to be a little bit weird for people who don't follow every single movie, but whatever. But also, I just feel like the twist didn't really hit that hard, because, I don't know, I feel like, just like I said, I think Brie Larson just didn't really act it well enough that to make it seem like she was so upset that, this should basically be her world twisting on its head. Like, she thought these people who were her friends, she's only been there for 6 years, but she doesn't remember anything else. So this should be like something like, oh my god, I can't believe my friends of 6 years are evil, and oh my goodness, what the hell? This entire civilization that I thought was good is just awful, and this thing that I've been fighting for is awful. But it kind of is just like, I don't know, I just didn't feel like it was treated very well. A nitpick here, when Maria's daughter was choosing the color for Captain Marvel's suit, she's like doing some alien technology stuff. And at first I thought she was just doing it randomly because it was just doing different colors. And I was like, all right, that's fine. She's just kind of doing it randomly. But then Carol's like, hey, what about colors that you're wearing? And the girl goes, okay, and then does something on her wrist and it makes her into the colors that she's wearing. It's like, how does she understand this technology? She literally just found it. Like, that doesn't, what? It was dumb. Didn't make sense. I don't know why Carol wouldn't have just done it herself. I was fine with her messing around with it in the first place, but the fact that she specifically chose the colors. Then we have the I'm Just a Girl scene. So this is a scene with Carol fighting her ex-teammates. And it should be this intense, like I said, this is her fighting her friends of 6 years, her teammates, 6 years, and it starts playing I'm Just a Girl, and it's the worst music choice I've ever heard. Not actually, but it's pretty close up there. It's just awful. I'm just sitting there watching and I go like, this is not the type of feeling that I should be having for this scene. It shouldn't be like, all happy, yeah, go Carol. It should be like, oh my goodness, this sucks for Carol, but really want her to win. And it was just it just felt like they shoved it in because it was 90s and she is just a girl. I don't know. I didn't like it. Although, what I did like was the battle scene at the end, like the where she like flies up into space and destroys all the Kree ships. That was cool. I liked that. That was like the one scene that I was like, this is dope. I didn't like how Fury lost his eye, and the stupid thing is I knew immediately that that's how he was going to lose it, because in, I believe it was Winter Soldier, he was like, the last time I trusted someone I lost an eye. But it was just this cat. I don't know, it was dumb. It was real dumb, and I did not like it. They just had little things that were dumb in my opinion, and I know it literally was just to set up Carol Danvers. That's all the movie was. It's literally all it needed to do, and that's what it did. And so, I mean, whatever, I guess. I just hope she's better in Endgame, so I don't know. I guess we'll see. Anyways, that's it for me. Thanks for watching. I hope you guys enjoy. Bye.